Amidst the ancient ruins of a forgotten civilization, a mysterious temple pulsates with an otherworldly energy. The guardian of this taste-defying sanctuary moves forward, a figure shrouded in enigma and power. He doesn't just taste food, he summons forgotten flavors and awakens dormant passions. Behold, the Wizard of Food, Wesley Source, and the Tucson Tasty Show.
Welcome to the Tucson Tasty Show, brought to you by SACA. The Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance is dedicated to creating, preserving, and advancing the arts. I'm your host, Wesley Source, and this is the Tucson Tasty Show. This week on the Tucson Tasty Show, we have a special call-in guest that's coming in on the next segment. Super excited about this interview with Chef Brian Duffy. Chef Brian Duffy has been on multiple shows, including Bar Rescue, as well as Opening Night. We're super excited about this because he's going to be calling into the show, and we're going to be able to talk to him and ask him all the questions. But before we do that, we have to talk about all the cool things that we've been doing. We just had the third night of the Tucson Tasty Show's Food Truck Food Fights Road to Snoop Dogg's Arizona Bowl. We have 3 top dogs that were selected by the judges. Now, the judges are really important because they're not just random people picked off the street. They're actually chefs from the community. And then we do mix in our host. Now, with Whiskey Roads, we were able to bring in one of the most amazing chefs in Tucson. He was the executive chef of Dove Mountain, and he's the owner of Whiskey Roads. And it was a great night. A lot of fun. Zenora killed it. And we even got to see some line dancing. That was a lot of fun. But most importantly, thank you to all the amazing food trucks that have participated thus far. So the next round is December 6th, and you got to check out the website for more details, thetastyshow.com, and we're going to be able to do the semifinals. Now, the semifinals are really going to be a lot of fun because with the semifinals, we're going to narrow it down to 2 food trucks that are going to compete at the Arizona Bowl tailgate. And again, the Arizona Bowl tailgate is actually free to attend. So everybody in Tucson needs to come out and support these food trucks, not only because the food trucks are incredible, but also because it's Snoop Dogg's Arizona Bowl. So there's going to be some really cool events happening and a lot of really cool attractions that we're not allowed to talk about yet on the air, but we're going to be talking about more as we get into the studio to get us some great interviews, tell us about all the amazing things that they've got going on. And we're super excited to have that available to us. And we're excited to partner with the Arizona Bowl, with the Food Truck Food Fights. It's pretty incredible, a lot of fun, and it's just been what an amazing supportive team over there at the Arizona Bowl. Now, with that being said, the first 2 nights, we had Munchies that won the first night for the top dog. That was a lot of fun over at Harbottle Brewing Company. Harbottle Brewing Company is owned by Mike and Sam, and what a team. I mean, if you haven't been there, you got to go check out that location. They have some amazing pickle beer. In fact, it's the only pickle beer in town that I actually talk about or endorse. And that's because they do a really good job. I mean, he puts definitely some love into that craft beer. He also makes a spicy gherkin, and it's actually called American gherkin. He does a spicy gherkin as well as a Kool-Aid gherkin, and which doesn't sound like maybe that it would be the best, but you know what? At the end, or every time I've tried it, it's amazing. And if you like those spicy pickles, that definitely encompasses it. But it's not like the other beers, right? So you don't have this bar back taste to it, where it's like, okay, yeah, that was the brine from the pickles that sat there for 4 months, and you just poured it in your beer. No, it's a fresh. It tastes like you're biting into a pickle, and I actually recommend that you drink the Kool-Aid gherkin a little bit warmer than you typically would, because you definitely get those flavors, and they come through and complement each other really well. But the next stop was Diamondback Shooting Sports. Now, the owner of Diamondback Shooting Sports invited us in. We took over his entire parking lot. We had a ton of food trucks there. We had a bunch of vendors. Everybody got together, and it was a lot of fun. That one was really cool with the talent that came out. Faded Jeans. We had a decent showing of people coming through the event. And we threw a curveball at the food trucks. They had to use a secret ingredient. The secret ingredient was actually the favorite snack of Snoop Dogg. And we did a bit of research on that one, and we found out that Snoop Dogg's favorite snack is actually pistachios. And you'd think that, late nights he gets a little, some munchies or something. It'd be pizza or something, or chips or something like that. But he actually reaches for healthier snacks, and probably why, he's stayed so fit over the years, right? But then at Whiskey Roads, we had an even better curveball. We tied it in to Whiskey Roads, and we had a lot of fun with it. But the semifinals on December 6th, we're going to have the food trucks kind of do a combination of the different things. Now, all the food trucks come out to every single event. They're all invited back, and they choose if they are if they lost out, or if they moved forward, whether or not they came back to the next events. But every single event, we've had all the food trucks with us, which is really incredible. But they also have a great opportunity to make just a ton of money at the Arizona Bowl. And that's what the whole point is. We want to make sure that we're getting not only the community support, having everybody in Tucson come out and join us at the food truck food fights to support them, but we also want to make sure that everybody comes out to the Arizona Bowl tailgate. And I think we're going to have a good showing this year. With the food trucks at the tailgate, we're going to have 2 finalists, and we'll have that banner up with them. They'll sign the finalist spots, and with those, they're going to compete, and they're going to have some challenges throughout the day, along with serving 15,000 possible people out at the Arizona Bowl. They're going to be able to participate in quite a few challenges. We're going to interview them. We're going to talk about them over the PA, and really, get the crowd involved with the food truck food fights. Once we have a winner selected, the winner gets announced on the field during the game. And that's going to be a lot of fun, because we get to take we have this huge trophy that we had made, and it's in the shape of Arizona, naturally, but we have they get to take that home with them, and they have bragging rights all year, and then they're going to be able to come on the show, and we're going to have a commercial run for them and during every show as well, and really push them out and give them some good opportunities to have that level of interaction with the media that they just maybe didn't have before. And with the food truck food fights, at the end of the day, it's, again, it's about supporting the community and building a community around those food trucks so that they can succeed to their fullest. The next events that we wanted to bring up and talk about were Savor. Now, Savor's put on by Local First Arizona, which is a partner of the Tucson Tasty Show, along with SACA, which is the Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance. Savor is one of the biggest culinary events in Tucson. Now, What's really cool about that is the third partner in Savor is actually the Botanical Gardens, and that's where they hold the event. And it's a really amazing event because just a ton of the restaurants and come together. There's going to be some wineries out there. We're going to get some breweries out there, I believe, and then we're going to be covering the whole event. And so you get to come out and check us out as well. So you definitely want to come into the event, and the way that you can do that is go to, I believe, saca.org. We're going to get that checked by producer Tina here just really quick. Yes, saca.org. Now that's SAACA.org. And if you go to events and then culinary events, it's right there at Savor. Devour is also a lot of fun if you want to drive up to Phoenix, but keep it local. Enjoy all of your local restaurants down here in Tucson, because then you can go out and visit them after the event. But that's Saturday, January 25th. Tickets are selling out, so that's why we're talking about that now, so that everybody can get your tickets and really enjoy that event. And once you buy your tickets, all the food and beverages inside for sampling are included with that, and then or samples and beverages. And there are some food trucks out there as well if you want something a little bit more hearty. And then the restaurants are actually still competing for titles during this as well. And some of the cool sponsors with these events is Tucson Foodie, of course. Shane is great over there. Arizona Daily Star, One Arizona Credit Union, Compost Cats from the University of Arizona Office of Sustainability, Southwest Gas, and the list just goes on. And it's a really great event. And I've been a few years now, and I would say that it's probably one of my favorite culinary events overall, other than food truck food fights, of course, because that's us. But really check that out after the Arizona Bowl tailgate. So the Arizona Bowl tailgate, again, is December 28th. You definitely have to carve out some time to come out to the tailgate and check us out. And it's just a lot of fun. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And then 25th of January's Savor. And you can get those tickets at saca.org, SAACA.org. I'm Wesley Source, your host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be right back with Chef Brian Duffy. Special thank you to our sponsors. That's Saca, Vero Premium Beef, Your Financial Guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. And as always, stay tasty, Tucson.
Are you ready to experience the great outdoors like never before? Look no further than Network Outdoors, your ultimate destination for adventure and exploration. With a wide range of outdoor expert guidance, Network Outdoors is your gateway to unforgettable experiences in nature. Whether you're a seasoned adventurer or just starting out, we have everything you'll need to make your outdoor dreams a reality. Visit us at networkoutdoors.com and start your next adventure today. Network Outdoors, where every step is a new journey.
Hello, this is Wesley Source with the Tucson Tasty Show. With every tasty bite from VEPremiumBeef.com, you get premium beef flavor. From the amazing ground beef to the melt-in-your-mouth ribeye steaks, every ounce is exceptionally aged for more than 21 days. Giving Vera Earl Premium Beef exceptional premium beef flavor, order online at VEPremiumBeef.com. Again, that's VEPremiumBeef.com.
Hey there, Tucson. Are you looking to spice up your business marketing? Well, look no further than Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. Located right at 22nd and Park, Patrick and Betsy are here to make your business sizzle. From eye-catching designs to top-notch printing, they've got you covered. Trust the experts at Allegra to boost your business to the next level. Visit them today at Park and 22nd. Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail, where your success is our priority.
Welcome to the Tucson Tasty Show, brought to you by SACA, Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance, dedicated to creating, preserving, and advancing the arts. And now it's time for more tasty bites with your host, Wesley Source. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show, brought to you by SACA, the Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance. SACA is dedicated to creating, preserving, and advancing the arts. I'm your host, Wesley Source. Welcome to the Tucson Tasty Show. Today we have Chef Brian Duffy on the phone. How you doing today, Chef?
Pretty wonderful, man. How are you guys?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Tucson Tasty Show. We're super excited to get your insights into the culinary world.
I'm excited to be here. I know we missed it the first time, so we finally nailed it down, and we're good to go.
Hey, you're busy. We're busy. We understand. No worries. And Chef, you have been on quite a few different paths. I mean, you've been on TV. You've been on, or you have a consulting firm. You've been on Bar Rescue, as well as what else have you done?
Multiple stuff. I've been a chef for almost 30 years. I graduated culinary school in 1995. So
wow.
I've been at this for a long time. I started working in restaurants when I was 14 and just kind of progressed from there. And since that time, luckily I've opened 116 restaurants,
wow.
either for myself, clients, or as a corporate executive chef. I was a corporate exec for a bunch of years. I do it with clients and then as well for myself. And then I've done everything from TV. I started out real local in Philadelphia, doing some local TV shows. And then I got a little bit of recognition from doing that and moved on to doing Food Network, DIY, HG, Fine Living, Spike TV, Paramount. I've done all sorts of stuff in my career, but Bar Rescue is probably what I'm most well known for. And actually, the funny part about that is I left that show almost 12 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the moment you realized you wanted to pursue a career in culinary arts, in the culinary arts?
I mean, for me, I grew up in a house where my parents were just awesome cooks. My mother was a nurse. She worked at night. My father was a teacher. He worked during the day. So we always got to see two different sides of the coin. One with my father being really adventurous, my mother being more of that kind of classic Irish Midwest meat, potato, vegetable type thing. So my mother was very classic with what she did, always cooked phenomenal meals. I remember having friends of ours over one night for dinner, and we all kind of sat down, the whole family, and we were like, oh man, stuffed chicken breast again. And my buddy who was with us was like, are you kidding me? That's like the greatest meal I've ever had. We were just so used to having really great food. And I'm not saying super adventurous on my mother's side. My father was really more of that, always looking at cookbooks. My father was a man of study. My father had 4 master's degrees and a doctorate.
Wow.
So my father was a very, very educated man. And when he wanted to cook, he looked at books and studied history, and which is kind of what led me into that industry of loving food and loving to cook, is the history behind things. But in reality, I was cooking for girlfriends, man. Immediate gratification, instant gratification. That was wonderful. Let's make out. That was kind of the way I got into cooking on a really fun level. And then I was 19 years old. I had really no idea what I wanted to do. I went to college. I wasn't 100% happy with it. In fact, I can say I hated it. And my buddy's like, you should really think about doing something with food and going to culinary school. And this wasn't the time frame of where we are now, where chefs are on podcasts and radio shows and
right.
TV. The only chefs that we really knew at that point were Emeril Lagasse, Jacques Pepin, the Galloping Gourmet, Julia Child. Those were really the big inspirations for us at that point. And, I was joke around. I was like a rugby playing, cigar smoking, beer drinking chef. That's what I was doing at that time. So I ended up going to culinary school and literally falling in love with the science of cooking. and the art of presentation and creating recipes. And
Definitely.
to me, that was what brought it all together.
So, and the Irish cuisine, I mean, that's one of your specialties, and because you grew up with it, and that's so the inspiration you pulled from your parents' cooking, or did you develop that in a different way?
No, honestly, Irish cooking had nothing to do with me until a period of time. So I actually was trained classical French. I went to the restaurant school at Walnut Hill College in Philadelphia, where I studied classic French cooking. And honestly, I was going to be moving much more into the Italian side of things, and I was going to go to the Italian culinary arts program in Torino, Italy.
Oh, wow.
And then there was like a big to-do that happened with that. So I ended up staying in Philadelphia. I worked at the Four Seasons. I worked at this unbelievable Italian restaurant. And then when I kind of started to move on after graduation and finding different worlds, I had these people who reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing Irish cooking, being the chef at an Irish pub?" And I was like, "Well, let me ask you a question. Do you want corned beef and cabbage on the menu?" And they were like, "No." And I said, "Great, then we can start the process." So I actually ended up, I left like the private, well, not the private sector, but I left working in an independent restaurant and went into another one. But I spent 6 months basically doing research on Irish cuisine, trying to find out about it, trying to find out as much information about it. Because there's so much more to Irish food than just stews and, shepherd's pie and cottage pie and that sort of stuff. Because in reality, Ireland is an island. And so there's a tremendous amount of seafood. And one of the better culinary schools throughout Europe is actually in Ballymaloe. It's called the Ballymaloe Cookery, which is Dorina and Rachel Allen. And they have a phenomenal cooking school right there that has produced some really amazing chefs. So long story short, I started to do research. I really got interested in the world of Irish cooking and the food that went around it. I reached out to a bunch of Irish chefs, got 0 responses. I swear to God, not one chef replied to me. Like, I was looking at some of the greatest chefs in Ireland, trying to find out. I had 3 questions. Where is Irish food now? Where did it come from? And where do you see it moving into? What is the future of it?
Wow.
Not one chef replied back to me. So I just did a whole bunch of research, and I opened up this Irish pub. The next thing I know, we have a phenomenal reputation. I'm now being voted one of the best Irish chefs in America for 2 years in a row. And fast forward, the next thing I know, all of my busy time in the media world, because at that point I had a show. I was the on-air chef for a local morning show in Philadelphia, and I did that for almost 8 years. And I was always doing Irish food.
Wow.
And everybody kept asking me to do Irish food. And then I started to do more TV, and the next thing I know, the only appearances I'm getting are around St. Patrick's Day. So I cut out Irish food completely. Have not done Irish food in years. I actually just opened an Irish pub in Cincinnati, so I lied. I did just do one a year ago. It's called the Red Leprechaun, and it's an awesome Irish pub right on the banks in Cincinnati. The owner's a brilliant guy, great at marketing. We have a boatload of fun, and we do unbelievable food, all scratch kitchen. So Irish food wasn't really because of my family.
Okay.
Irish food really came more out of a necessity, a professional necessity for me. And because of that, I love bar food. I love pub food. I love all of that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my Irish food love.
That's incredible. That is definitely different. So and definitely what a journey. So and you're known for, huh?
Go ahead. I said it's been a while. I've had a lot of fun.
You're known for your tough love, and you're also your incredible ability to turn kitchens around. What's the biggest challenge you've faced on any of your shows or in your kitchens?
I mean, the shows were really super dramatic. We dealt with a lot of different personalities in that case. And honestly, it all comes down to the owners. Owners allow chefs to do whatever they want. And chefs should be allowed to do what they want, but there should be some parameters that they have. There should be guidelines. And I'll touch on this in a minute, but the biggest part of what I saw during my shows really had to do with the chefs. Egos get in the way. Egos ruin everything. There's a difference between an ego and pride.
Right.
You know, there's a huge part of that falls in there. Ego blinds you. Pride drives you. I'm so proud of what I've done, as opposed to look at me at what I can do. You know, there's a difference in there with that. And so I found that a lot of the chefs that I dealt with, that just ended up being douchebags. You know, they were just all about the pride of it, or all about the ego of it, not the pride. And they, you know, so many chefs, even to this day, we have so many young chefs that are coming up that are so interested in getting their face on Instagram or getting their face on TV that they're bypassing the business of being a chef. So we're missing that whole thing. And I actually speak now on a bunch of different platforms professionally about, it's called, and I do a whole class called Who Owns the Kitchen? Chef meet the owner of the restaurant.
Right.
Because in reality, the owner of the restaurant has that. And what we've done is we've promoted mediocre quality. And I'm not talking about everyone. Let's understand that. I'm not generalizing here. I'm talking about a very specific sector of our industry. Unfortunately, that sector is about 60 to 75% of our industry, which is mom and pop restaurants that are looking for somebody to come in and do great food. So they hire a chef. The chef runs the operation for them, does a great job. That chef leaves. And now we end up promoting from within somebody who is not really schooled in the business of being a chef. So what I find now are a lot of chefs who just don't understand the business of what's going on. They understand how to put food together and all that, but they don't understand how to write a recipe, or how to cost out food, or how to really do a labor schedule, you know, or do a schedule that has a labor budget in mind. Or there's a lot of chefs who don't understand budgets. You know, I ask chefs all the time, well, how much, you know, what were your sales in your previous restaurant? And they say, oh, the owner never shared that with me. My interview process then changes from interviewing an executive chef to now I'm interviewing a line cook, or I'm interviewing a sous chef who I'm now going to have to train how to run a profitable kitchen.
Right.
So those are some of the biggest struggles that I have found. But really, it all comes down, look, man, it just comes down to chefs can be assholes sometimes, man. It's just that simple. You know, I just did a whole kitchen in a state I can't discuss. And 8 of the cooks, including the chef, basically staged a coup.
Whoa.
They were like, we're not coming back in until we get more money. And the worst part about it is, if they would have waited until Tuesday, all of the cooks were going to be getting raises. You know, man. So it's like, because of an ego, they lost their jobs. And this is in a region of the country that is very, very dependent on tourism and their season. And this is at the end of the season, where the owner would have held all of these people throughout the slow time, continue to give them hours, continue to pay them, because they do about $6.5 million a year in sales. So they would have been able to handle, you know, having that extra staff on. But what we did instead is we fired 8 people at one shot, shut the kitchen down for an entire week, and then we sent in a team to go in and rebuild the kitchen again, rehire new staff, get them up and running. But 8 people, because of their egos, did not have jobs after I left. So it's been a big struggle with that, you know. But there's still a lot of phenomenal cooks and chefs out there that want to learn, that want to do new things. So those are the people that I typically end up working with now.
Fair. No, that is yeah. I've seen both ways. I think Tucson's kind of a unique city where we have a lot of chefs that have been humbled, and they're more second chance chefs than anything else. But the owners love them, or they're the owners. We have a lot of chef-owned restaurants here.
Yeah, I mean, Tucson is. I've done a lot of stuff in Arizona, a lot more in the Phoenix and Scottsdale area. In fact, one of my great chef friends, Bo McMillan, is right in Scottsdale. But I've done a lot of stuff out in that area, and I know Tucson fairly well, and I know that there's a lot of great restaurants out there. But again, it comes down to the fact of, when I teach my classes and when I do these classes for owners and chefs, what I'm doing is I'm saying to them, okay, here's what your chef should be delivering to you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Okay, these are the things that you're looking for. Because a lot of owners are like, well, I hired this guy before. He did a great job. I never really had to worry about the kitchen. Now, because of where we are in this time, we have higher food costs than we ever have in our entire life.
Right.
Ever. Labor is, the average cook is starting at $20 an hour, whereas before, and I'm talking about before 5 years ago, I'm not talking 15 or 20.
Right.
I'm talking 5 years ago, the average cook was coming in starting at 12 or 15. So we have that immediate increase that has happened. And because of that, owners are struggling, because we can't raise the prices to what we really have to, because we have sticker shock when it comes to our clients. So there's a lot of play in there that really makes it tough. But I know a lot of great spots out in Phoenix, and I know a lot of great cooks that have turned into chefs. And look, I love Phoenix, or I love Arizona in itself. Y'all, you have any restaurants out in Tucson that are looking to get somebody to come in and help them out? Man, that's what I do. That's what my companies do. We love working with owners that want to raise the bar, take care of their chefs really well, and allow them the opportunity to educate and grow.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we have a lot of chef friends. We've been doing the show for about 14 months now, and we've interviewed over 140 chefs, and they're all they're all incredible. And we do this because the chef community out here deserves to be recognized more than they have before.
Right, absolutely. That's the thing is we all look at, you always look at chefs and they see them on the TV and they see the accolades that they're getting and what they're doing in this rock star mentality.
Right.
But there was this unbelievable article that was written about, honestly, Jude, I'm going to tell you, it was probably 20 years ago. And it was when I had first really started getting involved in TV, and I kind of got this weird local celebrity going on. And one of the servers, we had a board. I've always had a board in a kitchen that's called a want or need list. What do we want and what do we need? We need onions, but I want a new mandolin. Okay?
Right.
And on that list, somebody, and I'm assuming it was a server, but it was an article called Chef, We Miss You. And it was talking about the fact that, yes, I'm still the chef of the restaurant, but because I'm so focused on TV, because I'm so focused on the media angle of things, that I'm missing out on being in the kitchen, and my staff really misses me. I took a little bit of that to heart at that point, but now to this day, I just find how important it is for me to be in my kitchens. And I currently oversee 18 restaurants on a monthly level. I have 10 restaurants that I oversee almost on a daily level. My clients have carte blanche with me. Most of my clients, 90% of them text me at any given moment, and I'm very quick to reply right back to them because they're paying me to do a job.
Right.
They're paying me to help them through. I have one of my clients who I love to death. I love them all, but this guy's just a riot. At 1 o'clock in the morning a couple of weeks ago, he texted me, "What's goat cheese? What can we do?" And 7 minutes later, I sent him a recipe, broken down, additions, the whole 9 yards. And he was so funny about it. And it literally was a 1 o'clock in the morning conversation.
Oh, wow.
But that's what a chef is, and that's what a chef does. And, I look at a lot of chefs these days who are just their egos overtaking their kitchen. I have a partner in North Carolina on a couple of projects, and he struggles with one of his chefs because it's a much more food-driven property. I don't get involved in a place like I didn't get involved in the chef aspect of this. But he goes into this chef all the time because he travels all over the country, and he's like, "Hey, I saw this in Georgia last week. Do you think we can do anything with it?" And the chef goes, "Yeah, sure, we can do something with that." And then we never hear from him again. And it's like if you're an owner and you have an idea or a vision for what you want to see coming out of the kitchen that you own, your chef should be responsive to that.
Right.
Your chef should be able to come back and be like, "Hey, man, you showed me a burger last week. Here's my version of that. You showed me a salmon dish last week. Here's my version, my take on that dish." That's what we do because we all should be dealing with inspiration. None of us are recreating the culinary wheel. Very few of us are recreating the culinary wheel. Let's put it that way. And the most sincere form of flattery is imitation, man.
Absolutely.
We all work off of other people's dish, and we grow them, we build them, and we turn them into our own in our own ways. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. But I am a chef. I love my chef friends, but when in a consulting situation, typically I end up going in. I have to be client first, chef second.
That's understandable, definitely. Getting into a little bit more of the food side of things, and speaking of the food wheel, if you will, what are some of the current food trends that you think will have a lasting impact on the restaurant industry right now?
I mean, dude, comfort food across the board is always going to be something huge. And what we're doing is, we're recreating variations of the classic comfort foods. It's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how hot the Nashville hot chicken sandwich has been year after year after year. Nashville hot was a poor man's food. Nashville hot was a dirty little restaurant in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
That just didn't, and then all of a sudden somebody went in, somebody put it on TV, somebody put it on Instagram. Now every restaurant that's out there has a version of a Nashville hot. We are constantly recreating the same items. And one of the things that I do with my clients is I really try to, I ask my clients right off the bat, what do you want to see on your menu? What is something that you want to eat all the time? And they put a list together. And from that list, I try to build off of that. We might do a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, but what I'm going to do, like right now, I do a really cool one that's totally gluten-free. All right, with the exception of the bun. Let's establish that. So it's rice flour, masa flour, and cornmeal. Or rice flour, masa flour, and cornstarch. Okay, that's my batter that I use for that Nashville hot.
Yeah.
And it is. It's super tasty. And you know what else? It's got an unbelievable crunch to it.
Yep.
Better than a traditional flour would, because of the fact that we haven't ruined cornstarch, masa, and rice flour yet. United States, we've completely ruined flour across the board. It's just, right. I mean, you look at everybody who's got gluten allergies or sensitivities or whatever it is. We've ruined a lot of our food because of growth, chemical, all the other bullshit that gets involved. But when I deal with a client like that, one of the things that I try to do is I'll come in with a different variation. I want to play around. I might use a different chili. I might use a different spice. I really try to play around. Like hot honey is an unbelievable thing, but in reality, hot honey is a variation of a chili crisp, which is one of the originals. So, why not utilize some great chilies, add them in, toast them in the pan, release those oils, get all that out, steep them within the honey. There's a lot of great plays on classic dishes. So for me, the things that are always going to be around no matter what are always going to be the classics within that world of comfort food.
Agreed. No, we just have about a minute and a half left in the segment here, but we wanted to get you to or some time to plug your stuff. So tell us about your podcast, Duffy Live, Duffified Live.
Yeah. There you go. Well played. Well, it gives everybody a little tongue twister when they do that. So actually the podcast is on hold right now. I took a break from it just because I travel about 140,000 miles a year right now. So it's really tough to continue the recording. And as with recording, you've got to be consistent with it.
Yes.
It is the number one thing you've got to be consistent about is that. So for me, it was really hard to continue that. It still lives. It still is out there. Some great episodes. I will ultimately bring it back. But for right now, it's called Duffified Live. And you can find it on Spotify and Apple Apple Music and all that stuff. It's all out there. But for me, I backed off of that. So right now, a lot of what I'm doing is, you can follow all the stuff that I do on Instagram, which is Chef Bryduff, CHEF And then a lot of my consulting is through my group called Duffified Experience Group, because I believe that dining, being in a kitchen, all of that are experiences, and we need to create experiences because the art of the preparation creates the experience.
Absolutely.
That's what we're missing, is that preparation of building, getting ready. And then the other stuff, I work with a group called Maverick Theory, which is 35 of the greatest consultants in the country, we feel. And we are very, very aggressive in our methodology for consulting. It's a much higher end consulting firm, whereas my Duffified Experience Group is really geared towards smaller mom and pop restaurants that I don't want people to get taken advantage of by a lot of people that call themselves consultants. So that's kind of those are my two big things that I'm doing right now. I got a lot of cool projects. I'm a part owner of a spice company in Germany and a cookie company out of Alaska. And then the other thing, if you want to follow, is called Yum Crunch. Tag all of your food pictures, send them through to Yum Crunch. We are a viral ASMR video. We do a tremendous amount of marketing on there. It's a lot of fun, so check that out as well.
And that's Yum Crunch?
Yum Crunch, YUMCRUNCH.
Perfect. And we'll definitely get that done. And everybody listening needs to get that done as well. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Tucson Tasty Show, Chef Duffy. We're going to have to get you out to Tucson. We are the first UNESCO city of gastronomy in North America. So we definitely have to show you what we've got.
I love it, dude. I can't wait to get out there.
Thank you so much. And stay tasty, Tucson. Hello, this is Wesley Source with the Tucson Tasty Show. With every tasty bite from VEPremiumBeef.com, you get premium beef flavor. From the amazing ground beef to the melt-in-your-mouth ribeye steaks, every ounce is exceptionally aged for more than 21 days. Giving Vera Earl Premium Beef exceptional premium beef flavor, order online at VEPremiumBeef.com. Again, that's VEPremiumBeef.com. Hey there, Tucson. Are you looking to spice up your business marketing? Well, look no further than Allegra Marketing Print and Mail. Located right at 22nd and Park, Patrick and Betsy are here to make your business sizzle. From eye-catching designs to top-notch printing, they've got you covered. Trust the experts at Allegra to boost your business to the next level. Visit them today at Park and 22nd. Allegra Marketing Print and Mail, where your success is our priority.
Are you ready to experience the great outdoors like never before? Look no further than Network Outdoors, your ultimate destination for adventure and exploration. With a wide range of outdoor expert guidance, Network Outdoors is your gateway to unforgettable experiences in nature. Whether you're a seasoned adventurer or just starting out, we have everything you'll need to make your outdoor dreams a reality. Visit us at networkoutdoors.com and start your next adventure today. Network Outdoors, where every step is a new journey.
Welcome to the Tucson Tasty Show, brought to you by SACA, Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance, dedicated to creating, preserving, and advancing the arts. And now it's time for more tasty bites with your host, Wesley Source. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show, brought to you by SACA, the Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance, dedicated to creating, preserving, and advancing the arts. I'm Wesley Source, your host of the Tucson Tasty Show, and thank you to all of our other sponsors as well. That's Vera Earl Premium Beef. They'll be in studio next week, so definitely have to check them out. Your financial guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing Print and Mail, and today we have Jessica Savage of Savage Kitchens, and this is one of my favorite sauce companies. And I started calling them Sauce, and we're going to talk about that with her in just a second here. How you doing today, Jessica?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Wesley.
No, thank you for coming or calling into the show. I know you're up in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area, but there's nobody in Tucson that's doing what you're doing. So I love to be able to reach out to the greater Arizona area because there's such amazing food happening all across the state.
Yes, I agree. And I feel like Tucson is this amazing place where like people take food really seriously and enjoy and know how to share it with love. It's really inspiring. I love it.
Well, food is serious. It's a serious business. Yes. If it's done wrong, everybody's sad. And if it's done right, everybody's happy, right?
You are so right. Yes.
And one of the things that you do with your syrups is definitely right. And I definitely do call it sauce, but I more specifically your pumpkin spice sauce. It's a little bit thicker. It's not thin like the syrups, and there's no artificial sweeteners or flavors.
Yes, that's correct. And I love that you call them sauces, because one of the things that we very intentionally did with these syrups is I wanted them to be versatile. I wanted them to be beyond the cocktail, right? This started as a cocktail journey, but even our logo, it's cocktails, it's coffee, and it's cooking. It's all of these things, and they are, as you mentioned, they're thicker than your typical cocktail syrup. They're more like a maple syrup, I would say, viscosity-wise.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're just tasty. I mean, like, you've had the pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin pie in syrup form.
I'm addicted. And it's because it's pumpkin pie, not just, those spices where it's like, okay, there's the clove, there's the cinnamon, there's that. And then, who knows what else is in there. And, I'll be honest, until we found you, we were getting, some other sauces, and the ingredient list is crazy. But it's also shelf stable for like 3 years. So that's one thing.
And that's why.
Right.
Yeah, they add in all of these additives, and it's just like, no, ours are no nonsense, all natural, all flavor.
And one of my favorite things to do with your with the sauce is actually taking it, and I put it into milk, and then I froth it. Ooh. So I get that cold foam, and it melts into the drink a little bit. But when you're getting those sips, you get that nose, so you get all those wonderful spicy smells, and then you drink. But that's not the only one. We're talking about the pumpkin spice because it's one of my favorites. But but I was born in October, so I have an excuse. I mean, I asked for a pumpkin pie over cake every year.
These are good choices. How do you feel about pumpkin cheesecake?
Pumpkin cheesecake's good, but it's not. I think I like the pumpkin pie because it's a little bit more. It's a little bit healthier, right? It doesn't have as many fats.
You're getting your vegetables.
Right. It's actual pumpkin. You've got eggs, so you got the protein, and then you got some sugar in there, but whatever. We're it's a great breakfast food because it's got eggs. But the thing that but you also have vanilla, and you actually have vanilla beans in there. Then
our vanilla bean, we actually first steep and then hand scrape whole organic Madagascar vanilla beans. And vanilla is one of those flavors that sometimes people overlook it because they're like, oh, it's vanilla. It's it's so basic, it's so simple.
Because
I will tell you,
because they haven't had the real thing. Because they've had the vanilla extract, but the vanilla extract has so many different artificial flavors to make it vanilla most of the time. Yeah. We actually make our own vanilla extract for that reason.
Yes, and what a difference, right? It
Huge.
Really, when you taste real vanilla, it actually is somewhat floral and it's sweet, and it's really dynamic. And I really, it's so funny. It was actually a coffee shop that requested we make a vanilla bean syrup, and I kind of hemmed and hawed. I was like, I don't know, because all of the vanilla syrups I've tried, quite frankly, are just not. They just don't inspire me much. And so I was like, all right, let's really try this. And I'm thrilled with the results, but I'm more thrilled watching people taste it for the first time, because there's this like moment of revelation, like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
No, that's exactly it. And but you also have like so many different flavors. I mean, you have 13 different flavors. How can people get these flavors in the Tucson area? Sure.
Yeah. So in Tucson, talk to your baristas and bartenders. Tell them you want Savage Kitchen. But we actually have a really big direct-to-customer online piece of the business. So we ship to Tucson, and because we're in Phoenix, shipping to Tucson's like a day. It's super quick.
Oh, cool.
Which is nice. Yeah, and you can order flavors online. Or what's been fun to see is, like where the trends go, right? Like what's most popular. Mm-hmm. And interestingly to me, our most popular flavor is ube, that by a mile.
That's a new
ube
flavor
syrup.
too for you.
Yeah, so the ube syrup is interesting because it's great in cocktails, it's great in coffee, and ube latte is phenomenal. But it's super fun, like over pancakes or over ice cream. Like it's a deep purple color, and the flavor is a little bit. It's a little bit nutty. It's a little bit earthy and sweet and vanilla-like, actually. So it's fun seeing people discover that and then find all kinds of different ways to use it.
Mm-hmm. And ube, okay, so let's talk about ube. Ube is a potato, right?
Kind of. It is a root vegetable. It's a Filipino root vegetable that's sort of related to a purple sweet potato, but it's more closely related to taro root, actually.
Okay.
And so you find it in a lot of Filipino baked goods, in different breads and dessert items. And that was actually the first time I ever had ube was many years ago in the Philippines. I had no idea what it was. I picked up
and it's not poi.
Bun. No, it's not poi. No, but you will find it often in Hawaiian cuisine too, like the Southeast Asian cuisines, and it's just really, it's a revelation. It's nice because it's not overly sweet. Trader Joe's has a lot of ube products right now. One of my favorites is they have these ube covered pretzels. And, oh man, those are deadly. Those are good.
Okay. Ube covered pretzels. We got to check that out on Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so with so it's a purple root and, but it's not a potato. And then, how would you describe the flavor? I mean, it's not overly sweet, but it's a unique flavor of its own.
It's very unique. People seem to love it or hate it. And it's very, it is sweet. I've had it described to me as tasting a little bit like kettle corn. Which, and it really is. It does have a little bit of that earthy spin to it, but it's nutty and vanilla, I would say, which is interesting because we have two other syrups that are nutty. We have a toasted macadamia orgeat and we have a pecan orgeat. And this time of year, the pecan, really, really good. In fact, I have a recipe up on my website for butter pecan cookies that uses the pecan syrup, and It's a shame I didn't come into the studio today. I would have brought you cookies.
Okay. Yeah, Tina would have loved the pecan. Producer Tina loves pecan. Oh, she also loves ube, apparently. But she's in the background talking. But pecan, and I'll tell this story a million times. I grew up, my grandmother had 4 pecan trees in the backyard, 3 pecan trees. One pecan tree is enough for anybody, but she had 3 or 4. And that's literally the only nut that I think we ever ate growing up because she always had a surplus. So.
Oh, wow. So you had your lifetime fill?
Yes. Before I was 10. And which is, there's nothing wrong with pecan, just not my favorite. Pistachio is, if I'm reaching for that crunchy tree nut, I've got to go to pistachio personally. But ube's good as well, and I agree with. But I do like those strong fall flavors, and me
too.
But that's me. So
I would say our strongest fall flavor is actually ginger snap. The ginger snap syrup, I don't know if you've tried that one, but that's my personal favorite, and it's a ginger molasses cookie, basically.
Right.
But
well, it's what I expect a gingerbread cookie to taste like, and I'm always disappointed by the gingerbread cookie. Because I'm like, oh, this is dry. It's too dry. And the same reason I don't like cake. But yeah, no, that absolutely 100% embodies the gingerbread or gingerbread snap, and it definitely hits perfectly for me. So heard on that one.
That syrup, it's funny. I actually had a friend who inspired that syrup who was obsessed with. Don't know if you're familiar. There's a little spot in the Bay Area called Bake Sale Betty, and one of the things that they are famous for is their ginger snap cookies. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, you got to make a syrup that tastes like that. You got to make a syrup that tastes like that. And so I struggled with that recipe for a minute, but as soon as we hit it, it was like, ooh, there it is. That'll work.
Well, we have about 20 seconds left. So tell us what your website is again.
Sure. SavageKitchen.com. It's SAVIDGE kitchen.com. Mm-hmm. You can find me on Instagram, find me on YouTube. I'd love to hear from people.
Beautiful.
So, hit us up.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today on the Tucson Tasty Show. Thank you to our special guests and sponsors, that Chef Brian Duffy, Jessica Savage of Savage Kitchens, Vera Earl Premium Beef, your financial guide, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. Thank you for tuning into the Tucson Tasty Show. Remember to savor every delicious bite and keep those taste buds excited. We'll see you next week, and stay tasty, Tucson. Hey there, Tucson. Are you looking to spice up your business marketing? Well, look no further than Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. Located right at 22nd and Park, Patrick and Betsy are here to make your business sizzle. From eye-catching designs to top-notch printing, they've got you covered. Trust the experts at Allegra to boost your business to the next level. Visit them today at Park and 22nd. Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail, where your success is our priority.
Are you ready to experience the great outdoors like never before? Look no further than Network Outdoors, your ultimate destination for adventure and exploration. With a wide range of outdoor expert guidance, Network Outdoors is your gateway to unforgettable experiences in nature. Whether you're a seasoned adventurer or just starting out, we have everything you'll need to make your outdoor dreams a reality. Visit us at networkoutdoors.com and start your next adventure today. Network Outdoors, where every step is a new journey.
Hello, this is Wesley Source with the Tucson Tasty Show. With every tasty bite from VEPremiumBeef.com, you get premium beef flavor. From the amazing ground beef to the melt-in-your-mouth ribeye steaks, every ounce is exceptionally aged for more than 21 days. Giving Vera Earl Premium Beef exceptional premium beef flavor, order online at VEPremiumBeef.com. Again, that's VEPremiumBeef.com.
2024.
Just when you thought it was over,
As Yogi would say, it ain't over till it's over, right?
it's only beginning.
Today is only the beginning.
A new path,
A path to a much better future.
and we'll follow it
Day by day, step by step,
every step of the way.
wherever they may lead.
Check in often for the very latest.
Things are happening and they're happening fast.
Hear it all on KNST AM 790.
Take a pause.
The ASPCA is asking you to shop with your heart, hoping you'll buy animal products that were raised humanely.
More than 90% of the billions of pigs and chickens and cattle in our food system are raised on what are called factory farms. These are gigantic, filthy warehouses crowded with tens of thousands of animals.
That's the ASPCA's Daisy Freund, who says they've developed a website to help you shop humanely.
On the Shop With Your Heart website, you'll find, for example, a label guide that explains the claims you're seeing on meat and eggs and dairy so you don't waste money hoping for better farming practices and ultimately just getting repackaged factory farm products.
You'll also find lists of grocery stores and farms selling meats and other goods that are welfare certified products, meaning they've been raised in pastures or free of antibiotics and the like. And Freund says it sends a message to food producers
That you don't want to support animal cruelty.
Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.